Hello student, let us enter into one more session of our mathematics. It's a session 9 and I told you that we are going to see a new chapter in this session and then afterwards we will be seeing some questions of a previous chapter, that is matrices. So new chapter is chapter number 4. Name of the chapter is Determinants. Since both the chapters are interdependent on each other, so I am continuing with the chapter 4. Again I am repeating this, it's a session 9, chapter 4. The name of the chapter is Determinants. So let us see what is the relation between chapter 3 and chapter 4. So as I told you that in a definition of a matrices, that rectangular arrangement of elements, as we know that definition of a matrices is a rectangular arrangement. So how this new chapter is related with the previous one, that we are going to see. First of all, let us recall our memory. Matrices can be expressed in the form of this symbol, the big bracket, and the elements are A11, A12, A21, A22. Remember first session, first day of our this classes, there I told you definition of matrices like this. Now again you recall your memories. In a 10th standard, you were asked to solve linear equation with two variables. In a 10th standard as well as in a 9th standard, you were solving the equations. Especially in 10th standard, there was a chapter, linear equation with two variables. Suppose two equations are given to us. A1x plus b1y plus c1 is equal to 0. A2x plus b2y plus c2 is equal to 0. This is linear equation with two variables. X and y are two variables. Now recall your memories again from the 10th standard. There were four methods to solve such type of a equation. First method was elimination method. Second method was substitution method. Third method was cross multiplication method. And fourth method was graphical method. So let us concentrate on a third method, that is cross multiplication method. If you remember, in a cross multiplication method, we were arranging the elements in the form of a rectangular arrangement. Nobody told you that you are using determinant, but unknowingly you already used determinant to solve this type of equation in class 10th. But at that time it was a Cramer's rule, otherwise cross multiplication method. So in this chapter, you will be told how to solve this type of equation with the help of a determinant method. And as a 10th standard, it was a Cramer's rule or a cross multiplication method. Same thing you are going to do it in a determinant afterwards in a concluding part of the chapter. Even in this particular chapter, you will be able to solve equation of a three variables also, when three equations will be given to you. So that will be in the concluding part. So first of all, the usefulness of this chapter is you can solve equation of a two variable, three variables very easily with the help of this new method. Again, this equation matrices wise can be written in this form. For example, all the constant in one of the matrices, then variable in other matrices and constant in a third matrices. And if you use a multiplication of matrices, you will get above equation. It means that given equation can be expressed in the form of matrices. Now how it can be converted into the form of determinant, we are going to see. So again I am usually say that chapter number 3 and 4 are interdependent on each other. So whenever you prepare for any exam, my suggestion is prepare this two chapter together. That's why I took it in a same session, these two chapters. Now A is any matrices, elements are suppose A, B, C, D. Then determinant of A can be written as, see the new symbol. Earlier I told you that this is symbol of a matrices. Now new symbol is two parallel lines and between that the letter A. This is symbol of a determinant. Or if you don't want to use this symbol, then every now and then you will have to write determinant A or DETA as it is given in your book. But we are going to use this symbol to solve the questions. It means that now elements will be written in the form of like this, means all the elements will be between two parallel lines. So in this chapter, what will be the problem for you? If you don't know the difference between this chapter and the previous chapter, and suppose by mistake to solve the question of determinant, you are using this particular symbol, it means that you are still in a chapter number 3. So now take a precaution to express the element in a determinant, use two parallel lines. Now, there are two notes given in your book. These are very important notes. This symbol usually in a small classes up to 10 standard or even in physics etc. This symbol was used for modulus. Remember that mod values or modulus. Many times in mathematics we use mod of 3 or mod of minus 3. But remember in this chapter, don't be confused. This is not the symbol for modulus in this chapter only. This is not symbol for modulus, this is symbol for determinant A. How you are going to read? This is determinant A, not modulus of A. One of the note is given, one of the precaution is given in your book. Another precaution or a note is given, that is also very important. Determinant will be always square matrices. You will not be able to solve, or you are not going to have a determinant of a rectangular matrices. So this is also one important properties. Now, how to solve? So there is no particular definition of determinant. There is a rectangular arrangement of elements, and when you solve that, in dictionary when you go for a determinant or determine, it means that to find. So when you find the value of a matrices, so whatever the value comes, that is actually called as a value of a determinant. So see how to solve. Now in our chapter, fortunately, we got a two types of determinant. One is of order 2 and another one is of order 3. Order 1 is very obvious, but there are two main determinant or main part of a determinant in our chapter. In higher classes, you can have a order 4, order 5 type of determinants that you will see in a later classes. So in this class, we have a two types of a determinant. So today, first of all, we will start with the how to solve determinant of order 2. So question will be given in this way. Question will be given in the form of a matrices, or question will be given in the form of determinant A. Between the two parallel lines, element will be given to you. So it's like a cross multiplication method of a 10th standard. Recall your memories. In a 10th standard, if a number 4 members were arranged like this, what you were doing at that time? You were cross multiplying it. A11 was multiplied with A22. In between, when you was multiplying from down to up, in between you were putting the minus sign. So A21 into A12. So it's nothing new. You did it in a 10th standard, but in a 10th standard it was only for 2 variables. Here we are going to do for a 3 variables also, that afterwards. Let me support this. This is first topic of determinant. So let me support this particular topic with the help of one example. Suppose there is an example, and there are many questions in that exercise also. There is one example, find the value of, evaluate the value of A, and A is given, see, not in the form of matrices. Automatically you will come to know that yeah, it is in the form of a determinant, two parallel lines. If it is in the form of a determinant and then they say evaluate, it means that it's a question of a determinant. So suppose 3, 5, 2, 1 are element. So see that method, cross multiplication method. Multiply 3 with 1 and multiply 2 with 5. When you multiply it from down to up, put a minus sign in between. So 3 1 are 3, minus 5 2 are 10, 3 minus 10, minus 7 is answer. So this is first multiplication of a order 2. As I told you how to solve determinant of order 2, it is very easy. Just to cross multiply, and that already I told you that extra. Just now I told you how to solve questions of a determinant of order 2. It's nothing but it's a revision part that you did unknowingly in a 10th standard. Important one and slightly harder is determinant of order 3. But this also you did in a physics in a class 11th. Remember, in a rotational motion, this type of question was there in physics. So partially you know about this order 3 determinant, but officially in a mathematics now I am telling you how to solve such questions. Suppose in a general form, first of all, suppose determinant of order 3 is given and it is in a general form first of all. But again I am telling you, if you don't know in a general form, then don't worry. Directly you should know how to solve question, that also I will be telling you. Now in general form, elements of determinants are A11, A12, A13, A21, A22, A23, A31, A32, A33 according to their position. See, it's a square matrix, or this determinant is in the form of a square matrix. Now if anybody is asking you to find the value of this determinant, so convert this big determinant in the form of a minor determinant. One word is used in your textbook, minor determinant. This is big determinant. When you are converting into the minor determinant, so how you can do it? Select any one element of any row or column. Usually I prefer row, but you can select column also. Select any member of a, suppose first row, A11. Then keep a hand on that row and a column. So what will happen? Remaining 4 members will be in the form of a minor determinant. What I did? A11, then this 4 member will give you a one minor determinant. Then go for a second elements. When you go for a second elements, take a minus sign. Now, after one or two section, you will come to know why we are taking minus sign. Alternatively, first of all, plus sign if you took, then second one will be minus sign. So, minus A12. So, take minus A12 as a second element of first row. Then keep a hand on this column as well as in this row. So, you will be remaining with this 4 members again. So, another minor determinant comes in the form of A21, A31 and A23 and A33. So, the big determinant of a order 3, what I am doing is, I am converting into the order 2. Why I am converting into the order 2? Because just now I told you how to solve order 2. Then, third element is A13. So, A13 is in this column and this row. Put a hand in that. So, you will be remaining with these 4 elements and that will form a one more minor determinant. Now, you know how to solve minor determinant. That was our first topic. Cross multiply. A22 will be multiplied with A33. And when you multiply it from down, minus sign will be there. A32 and A32. And don't touch this A11. Leave it in the outside the bracket. Similarly, minus A12 will be as it is. Again you cross multiply. When you cross multiply, A21 will be multiplied with A33 and minus A31 and A23 will be multiplied itself. Then keep A13 outside. Again you cross multiply A21 with A32 minus A31 into A22. So what we did, order 3 determinant is converted into order 2 determinant. Why? Because we know how to solve order 2 determinant. Now next step, you use a distributive property. A11 you multiply with this element as well as this element. Then minus A12 you multiply with this element and this element. Then A13 you multiply with this element and this element. So you'll get a big multiplication form. Don't worry about this theory. Nobody is going to ask you to write it in the form of a theory. But you should know how to apply this theory to solve the question. So when I'll solve the question, this will seems to be easy one. Now I took one example. Suppose any determinant is given in the form of A is equal to 3, 2, 3, 5, 2, 4, 1, 1, 2. Elements is of my choice, but there are many questions in exercise. Now how to solve? Question will be, and immediately you will realize that now we are not dealing with the matrices. It will be evaluate the given determinant. 2 parallel lines are there and members are within that parallel lines. Then how we are going to do? This is symbol for determinant. 3 you leave it as it is and then cross multiply these 2 elements. This row and this column you put your hand in this row and this column. So 2 2s are 4 and 4 1s are 4. When you multiply from down to up, minus sign will come. So 3 leave it as it is and then 2 2s are 4 minus 4. So this will become 0 in the next step. Similarly, when you go for a second elements, put a minus sign. Minus 2, then put a hand on this row and column. So 5 2s are 10 and 4 1s are 4. When you are multiplying from down to up, minus sign. Then go for a third element. Third element is this. So put a hand on this row and this column. So you will be left with 5 1s are 5 minus 2. Now you open this bracket. 3 into 0, it will be 0. Minus 2 into 6, it will be minus 12. And 3 into 5 minus 2, 3, 9. When you are solving together, final answer will be minus 3. And this minus 3 will be the answer of this 3 order determinant. You will get a single values. In a matrices, what happens? We never opens matrices during the solution of a question. But in determinant, we open that determinant and we solve a particular values. This is the basic difference between the matrices and determinant. In exercise 1 of this 4.1 of this particular chapter, there are a lot of questions of order 2 and order 3. At least after this explanation, you do 1 or 2 questions of exercise 4.1. In coming session, then I will be doing some more questions of exercise 4.1. Thank you.